All right, guys, welcome to another podcast. So, basically, what this new sort of series that I'm going to be doing is called Young Guns. And what I'm going to be doing is at the sort of end or beginning of every year, I'm going to be looking at the class of the previous year and sort of select a few players that I think are highly talented and they have the potential to make it all the way to the top. So I'm going to pick my top five prospects at the end of each season and then sort of track their progress. So the purpose is sort of to see how well yours truly can identify talent and then also to follow the journey of a young prodigy's career. Another thing I'm going to be doing is including a dark horse, a player that didn't necessarily shine, but who I think could go far in his career. Now, this is not listed in any particular order, and if there's any information I'm missing, please feel free to comment below. And let's get right to it. So, my first pick is Hanru Jacobs. Absolute beast of a prop. I mean, this guy was by far, in my opinion, the best prop last year in the country. He played for the poorest first team and was selected for SA schools. And in my opinion, he's got what it takes to go all the way to the top. I expect him to be in contention for South Africa under 20 this year. I'm not sure he'll make it, but I'm pretty sure he'll be in contention. In terms of his current status, he's signed to the Sharks. And in terms of my Bok prediction, I think around about 2025, around about the age of 25, I think we can sort of see him starting to become a squad member. Then my second pick is Adrian Alberts. And this guy's just a class block. I mean, his leadership qualities were way beyond his years. And he played for the Paul Boys first team and SA schools. I think he should walk into the South African under-20 squad this year. And next year, I expect him to be the SA under-20 captain. And in my opinion, he's got what it takes to become a future Springbok captain. In terms of his current status, he's signed to the Lions. And in terms of a Bok prediction, I think we can start seeing him as a sort of brought into the squad about 2022, so at the age of 22, right about there. And then my third pick is Evan Roos, and I mean, this guy is a giant number 8, overwhelmed most of his opposition, and actually was voted Craven Week Player of the Year for last year. He played for the Paul Boys first team and he was selected for the SA Schools team. And I think it'll be interesting to see if he makes SA under 20, but I think he should be in contention. I think he's going to face quite an uphill struggle to become a Springbok. I mean, just in terms of sheer abundance of loose forward options we have. And what I sort of see happening, I'm making quite a big call here. I think he'll be playing in South Africa for 2 to 3 years before making a switch over to Europe. And I think we could see him representing a European nation. That's my sort of prediction. In terms of his current status, he's signed for the Sharks. In terms of a Bok prediction, like I said, I don't think he will play for the Springboks, but I think he will be playing for a European national team of some sort. And then my fourth pick is David Kellerman, and in my opinion, he was the best centre in South Africa last year by a mile. He played for the Poldrum first team, and it was an absolute disgrace that he never made the SA schools team. I don't expect him to be in the SA under-20 squad, but I got no doubt that he should be there. Now, if I was Kellerman's agents, I'd be looking at overseas options yesterday. South African rugby showed their cards with this guy. He should be walking into any European top-tier nation within the time of his residency. So if he plays for 3 years in France or England or Wales, I really think that this guy should walk into the squad at least. I mean, this guy's got so much talent. In terms of his current status, I'm not sure. I don't know where he's been signed. In terms of a Bok prediction, I don't think this guy will be playing for the Springboks. But if he does move to Europe, any team in Europe is going to be lucky to have this guy. I think he's got a hell of a lot of talent. And then my fifth and final pick is Darren Hendricks. He's an attack-minded fullback. He's got pace to burn, and he reads the game incredibly. He played for the Bola and Landbou first team and was selected for SA schools. I think he should be in the mix for the SA under-20 squad this year. It'll be quite interesting to see if he does make it. But in terms of his career, I think what we're going to see, guys, is him move from fullback to wing to further his career. I think he's, just a bit small for a fullback for international rugby. I don't think there's going to be a lot of room for him to grow that much. But I think he could be a devastating wing. And what I think will happen is he'll make a name for himself on the 7th circuit and eventually move into Bok contention. So his current status is that he's signed for the Sharks. And in terms of a Bok prediction, I think that we could see him become a squad member around about the age of 23. I think that's a high possibility. Then in terms of my dark horse is Xander du Plessis. And look, this guy's just a consistent fly-off. He's extremely intelligent. Distribution fantastic, boot fantastic, and very, very accurate with his goal kicking. He played for the Grey Bloom first team, but he didn't make SA schools. And look, John Mostard, who was the SA schools fly-off last year, was the best fly-off in the country. There's nothing doubting that. But there's just something about this kid that makes me think with the right nurturing, he can become a special player. Now, some players take some time to find their positions. In my opinion, Zander is a born fly-off. He is born to play that position. He'll face a heck of a battle to become a Springbok, but I do believe he's a special player. Now, we've got to remember as well, Dan Carter never made the New Zealand schools team, and look at him. I'm telling you now, this is a massive call, but if this guy's looked after properly and coached properly, he can become like a Dan Carter for us. But then again, you got Andre Pollard, you've got Damian Willems, Jean Mostert is still, he's going to go far in his career as well. But in terms of a dark horse, I really think this is someone that can sort of bloom into a world-class fly-off. I really do believe that. And in terms of other players to watch, you've got Jacobus Achenbach from Grey College, the prop. Absolute beast of a prop. I mean, yeah, a front row, him, Henry Jacobs and JJ Kotze, who I mentioned a bit later, but I mean, Jesus, I mean, that's like a front row that could probably take on most provincial teams at school level. I'm talking about men's provincial teams. I mean, these oaks are like over 100 kilograms each. It's like a beast of a front row. Then we've got Wycliffe Latour from Grey College, the centre. Very, very devastating player. For me, it was a coin toss between him and Darren Hendricks, but I don't know. I just got a feeling Hendricks is going to make it quite far as a wing. JJ Kotze, the hooker, who I just mentioned, from Porus. Part of a devastating Porus pack last year, one of the leaders. A little-known player, didn't even play Craven Week, as Gavin Mills for Boland Landbou. Very, very talented scrum half. I really, really rate this guy, and he's like another sort of a dark horse, similar in the Maltese Zander du Plessis, I think could go far. He's a little scrum half. And then we got Tristan de Lucia from Monument. He's a flanker, strong, solid, got pace, reads the game well. I think he could go very far as well. Then personally, my favorite player last year was David Marais. I don't know if he's got the same level of talent as like an Evan Roos, for example. That's why Evan Roos went ahead of him. But you can see this guy works hard at his game. He's disciplined. He's old school. He's an old school flanker. Think Andre Venter. Think that sort of level. I think he could go extremely far. While Evan Roos has got natural talent and he works hard, this guy's like, he's got a certain amount of talent, but he works so bloody hard. I mean, you just see this guy all over the field. And look at his tries against Christchurch Boys, where he just picked the ball up from the side of the ruck and just ran over the try line. So, he reads the game well. I think he can go very far. And then we got Brendan Venter. He was an SA Schools player as well last year. He's a centre for Porus, son of Brendan Venter Sr. I mean, the genetics are strong in this one. You know what I mean? I think he can go very far as well. And then my final sort of player to watch is Musi Manyiki from Jeppe. Very talented centre. I think that he'll probably form part of the SA Under-20 team. If he continues on his trajectory, 1000% he'll become a Springbok. I mean, he ticks. Look, I hate saying this. You guys know I hate saying it, but it's just a fact in South African rugby. He sort of ticks the quota box. So if he carries on in his current trajectory, I think he will definitely become a Springbok. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Obviously, there's quite a few players. I mean, look, last year was a special group, abundance of class players, and I haven't included any grade 11s. I don't think. I think these guys are all leavers. So if you're wondering why there's no certain players that are still in school, that's because they'll form part of the Young Guns 2019 and we'll follow their trajectory as well. Let me know what players you think are missing. If I'm missing anything on the current status of a player, where they've signed for, etc., let me know. And as always, thanks for your support, guys. Much appreciated, and have a great week further. Cheers. Bye.